Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Starkiller, and this is
Tricklip 101, and
and
this is
our added theater reaction of.
Out of Theater Experience.
Oh,
And we are reacting
oops.
to Woman in the Yard, a movie that really doesn't tell you anything about what it's about other than the title. There's a woman in the yard. It revolves around an African American family. Immediately, you're thrown into just kind of like feeling out the vibes of the family, which are very off, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they just went through like a traumatic experience, so the whole vibe of the family is just trying to get used to new life.
hmm
They also live in like a farm that seems very remote and different than what they're used to, I feel.
Yeah, they lived far out in the fields, in the woods and whatnot, or not woods, but in a field for sure.
Mm.
So as you go through the movie, spoiler alert, you do find out that there was a death in the family recently, which was the dad. And the thing is, like, you're kind of going for this ride that I think Jason Blum wanted to. I think he produced it, right? Or
Yeah, it's a Blumhouse picture. If you
sure.
didn't know, Jason Blum's production company.
For sure. So you're kind of like going along this ride to try and figure out what is going on, because you're like, okay, they find this lady in the yard, but immediately you start noticing things that might not actually be happening in the film. At least I did. I was like, I don't feel like this is real or this is really happening.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're paying attention, you'll notice things that are like, I don't think that would actually be happening. That feels a little wrong, feels a little off.
It does kind of have like dream-like scenes,
Qualities,
yeah,
yeah,
dreamlike qualities, where it's like if you just are watching it in like a baseline kind of viewing, you might not notice. It may seem like a typical like story, but then if you look at key details, there will be little things where you're like, oh yeah, they're not in the same realm, I feel,
right. Or like, what's a thing that I guess if you watched White Lotus, there's like sometimes things where they'll show like the actual scene going on. Or if you watched White Lotus recently and you saw like that family where the dad was like gonna kill himself and the kids, like they kind of showed the whole scene where he did it and like them finding the bodies and everything, and then it snaps out and it's like, oh no, it really didn't happen, but that's what they're imagining. So I kind of got that vibe in a lot of these scenes. But overall, what did you think was the message here? Because so what happened was basically, in my opinion, the woman in the yard is more of a figment. It's just like, off top, it's like, oh, woman in the yard. Actually, it's the elephant in the room, which is that she's been in denial or lying to her kids about what happened to the dad.
Mm-hmm.
So from the beginning, it was like, okay, well, you've been dealing with this every day. And she's saying, opening quote is like, give me the strength. When she first gets up, she has knee surgery and she's getting up with like crutches and stuff. And you would imagine it's like, oh, Lord, give me the strength to like go through another day. But it's really like, give me the strength to like keep going with this lie.
Well, for me, it was all just like suicidal ideation, Like, I feel like she had this life that she wanted, the love that she wanted, family that she wanted, but for some reason she just still wasn't happy with it, Like, they lived in the city, she wasn't happy. They moved here, she wasn't happy. And then she still just couldn't find that happiness. So I think her husband dying kind of at her own hands was like her psychotic break. And since then she was just like, okay, well, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I'm done with this, and then give me the strength to finally do it today, finally take myself out today.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so the woman in the yard is kind of like the devil on her shoulder telling her to do it. So that's why, like, a lot of times she was like, today's the day. That's why there's only one bullet in that gun for you to take yourself out.
Interesting.
So that's like, I feel like the movie, like, to me, wasn't like horror scary, but the scary part of it was that if you do have suicidal ideations, like, you can be sucked into like this personification of, yeah, my family will be better off without me if I'm not here. And like, that's the scary part, and that's like kind of, I feel like, what she was going through. Like, that darkness was trying to take her over the whole time.
So how, in that case, again, spoiler alert, at the end, how do you think she was able to overcome that? Like, what changed?
I think to her, really, like, her daughter did save her. At the end, of course, if you've seen the movie, which I hope you have if you're watching this, her daughter gives her little penguin stuffed animal, right? And then she goes into the basement or attic or whatever, and then she just like throws it on the floor, like, all right, this is it, I'm just gonna go do it. But then I think when she's finally going to do it, she sees it and is like, I have these kids. Like, I can't just leave them. They don't have their father. Like, what are they going to do without me? I need to find my strength and I need to be here for them. So that's how she, like, gets that darkness away from her.
Excuse me, sorry. We always catch the late
Yeah, it's
showings.
like,
It's 12:30 right
yeah,
now.
it's late.
Very long day actually. Good day
Yeah.
though, and glad we could fit this movie in. Scare factor, I would say. I mean, it definitely has some unsettling scenes. You know, aside from the philosophical side,
Hmm.
scary, unsettling. I feel like they tried to use sensory, like sounds against people for sure.
Hmm.
Like I think there was one dude, the guy that was yapping the whole time. I think he was getting a little triggered by the dog at first because I heard him kind of be like, "Oh my god!" Like if he does, like he was legit getting
Really?
upset.
Oh my, well, yeah, the
So
dog does bark for like a long time, but still, it's like, it's
that
a
was
movie,
funny, and I
bro.
was like, I'm like, I see what they're doing for sure. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, like I don't know, but that kind of thing, or like I feel like maybe this theater doesn't have the best sound system. We were not in an AMC or like a
Yeah.
what's the one that
A
the
Regal?
IMAX. We weren't in an IMAX or anything, but
Yeah.
if you were, I feel like the sounds of like the trapdoor opening or any certain thing would be a lot louder too, because I did notice they were trying to make things a little bit louder, but it just wasn't hitting the same in
Yeah.
this old theater. I mean, Cinemark's doing their best. Come to
Yeah.
Cinemark, please,
This
because
theater too has been here like for so long. It was like a century before. Now it's a Cinemark, and they always try to upgrade it, but it's
this is
definitely a
where I saw
little
the
dated.
first Spider-Man.
I saw like the Lord of the Rings here as a kid, so
Damn.
it's been around for
I
a
guess
while.
I saw like until Green Goblin was beating up Spider-Man, and then I had to leave. I came out crying. My grandma took me to see
Aww.
Ice Age instead. But yeah, those were out at
Nice
the same
palate
time.
cleanser.
But yeah, so good movie, I guess.
Yeah, I liked it. I also the darkness, the woman in the yard. What I really liked about her was that she has that like shadow realm kind of thing going on. That
Everything is shadow right now because
yeah.
another thing in the preview was like shadow something.
Oh yeah, you're right. I
Yeah.
forgot what it was too.
The one with the bad coloring for the font.
I forgot what it was. It was the one
It was like family
with Kerry
always win or
Washington.
something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a action family action movie. It was
Yeah.
interesting. Um, but yeah, I liked it. I liked what they were going for. We're showing the boots.
Yeah, we're
I
showing the
don't
boots.
even think I could get mine that high.
Yeah, I got you.
No, you flip me over. Um, I liked what they were going for. It didn't super scare me. The parts that did scare me were like jump scare, like sound things,
Mhm.
which I'm very
Unsettling
prone
mirror
to.
scenes. I didn't like the mirror scenes where she would pop out. Like it was scary in
Ooh,
the car
true,
accident
true,
where
true,
she's
true.
in the mirror, like
Hmm.
whatever.
And,
Which
and
kind of yeah,
it's like a scary face that like pops out and like appears. It's
that's
just like, ugh,
racist. It's because she's black.
stop, no, what the hell?
Nah, but I didn't like the movie off top. Well, I liked the movie, but I didn't like the casting, or I was already against the mom because she reminded me of my mom. So I was like, hey. But
Ooh, actually, speaking of casting, I don't know any of the actors' names in this, unfortunately, because we just came out of it, so I didn't research anything. But the son, I think, did such a great job. Like, I not a lot of young actors, like kid actors, are super great.
mhm.
So when I see one that's pretty good, I like to call it out. I think he was really good.
I bet his TikTok's popping. He
Probably
gives TikTok
he
vibes,
does kind
Fortnite
of.
vibes.
I also just liked his character too, because like I was saying earlier, like I feel like his character took a lot of agency to like try to figure out stuff for his family
Oh
and
yeah,
help his
he stepped
family.
up for sure.
Yeah, and like I feel like that doesn't happen a lot in these movies with kids. Like,
Well, also a lot of the movies with kids, quote unquote, are not with African American families either. So I
that's
feel like
true.
at this day and age, they might have got some backlash, like, oh, these kids would have never done some white shit. Like, so
Maybe
I don't know. They kind of had to give him a little,
it's true.
because at the end of the day, he was the man of the family now. You know, the man of the house
Hmm.
after the dad passed away. So it was kind of like he had had enough already.
Yeah, he
And
literally.
also,
had to
it
step
seemed like the mom had already been kind of slacking off. I mean, I know she had knee surgery after the car accident, but it seemed like she'd just been in the room for like months, apparently, is what she said to
up.
herself
Yeah.
at one point.
So, how many ticket stubs would you give this movie out of 5?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked how it was shot. And I only say 2 because 2 is basically like how many people would bring, right? So it'd be me and myself, or me and someone else, one other person. I wouldn't put anyone else through it because I would only bring someone I think I know would
Would
either be
enjoy
down
it.
for the theater experience
Mhm.
or would be into that genre. So
Okay.
I would never assume that you would like this movie. You take that upon yourself.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of not one that everyone would like, especially even like horror fans. I think you have to be okay with a different kind of experience for it. Like he was saying, there are some really cool, interesting shots. There's a shot where she picks up a mug and like throws it down. That was like shot really cool that I liked. But based off of that criteria of how many people would bring, I think I too would give it like a 2.5 ticket stub.
You'd be that parent, those parents that brought their kid.
No,
Someone brought their kid. That was 2.5
yeah, someone brought a
stubs.
baby.
Yeah, don't do that.
I would
2 or
bring
3.
I would bring. No, I'm gonna do half.
Bring a
I
little
would
person.
bring. Yeah,
One
I
of
would
the
bring
people
me.
who weren't casted in Snow White.
Sab. No.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah. All right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, go check out Woman in the Yard.
Yeah, I would say if you even if you don't go see it in theater, like when it comes out on like Max or something, like
Mhm.
it's worth a watch at home for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, give it a go. You know, in the name of film.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We need to get these subscribers up so we can keep doing these and have a reason to.
Yeah.
Because if we're getting like 300 views at most, I mean, we'll still do it, but
But I'll be
give us
sad
a little
about
bit of
it.
motivation, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Thanks, Star. We'll
Thanks.
see you guys at the next one.
you.
And yeah,
Thank you. All right,
let us know
bye.
actually in the comments what the next one should be.
Ooh, yeah, good one. Okay, bye.